Who are you building? Nana-Addo, has he fought independence for Ghana before? So how can you compare the two?
We'll get to hear from the campaign team of the NPP running mate on this. Also, minority vows to mobilize citizens to demonstrate against what they describe as opaque recruitment into security services.
The attempt to recruit from the so-called backlog is illegal, it's unconstitutional, it is discriminatory.
Also this afternoon, the West African Examination Council's crackdown on exam malpractices in the ongoing BEC leads to 16 arrests of invigilators.
They are in police custody. So this morning, I'm not sure whether they would have been granted bail or not, but we have handed them over to the police. We've made our complaints, and they are supposed to be processed for court.
And their sports.
Preparations are underway as the Black Princesses seek to make history at the upcoming Women's World Cup.
And much later, the Volta River Authority begins stakeholder consultations with local authority and leaders in preparedness for any spillage of the Akonsombo Dam in the Volta region.
We are getting ourselves ready, and we also hope that nothing really comes or take our people away again.
That and more in this afternoon's edition of the Midday News. I am Emefa Apawu. And this is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Let's start off from the election headquarters. And your election headquarters is made possible by Petrosol, Clean Fuel in full quantity, CIMA, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA, AICPA and CIMA together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, the German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty, Chopbox Technologies, a convenience service, Youth Bridge Foundation, Bridging Gaps for Positive Youth Development. And this afternoon, the Convention People's Party is challenging the controversial statement made by newly adored running mate of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, against the founder of the party, which has sparked a nationwide reaction. During his official unveiling last night, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh claimed that not even the achievement of Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, could match the records of outgoing President Akufo-Addo. My colleague, Nana Boache Dankwa-Yadom, was at the unveiling ceremony and has come through with this report.
The atmosphere was electric at the Menchia Palace, where thousands of enthusiastic party supporters gathered to witness the formal presentation of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh to the Asantehene. President Akufo-Addo formally introduced the NPP's flag bearer and running mate for the December 7 polls to Otumfuo Tutu II.
Ghana mbra ye dia chichire oman e kire se Ghana ni bia be furo kunya kese no a utumi phone premier no na ubreso a esise pobi no ba be hye wa na emu ebi no menya kwa antu na phone mienu ebi no phone ba ko pe na I don't know, that's what you want, yeah, pretty, and then answer, and NPP, National Council, Ecosia, Tiababi, Tiafi, Rabawumia, I'm not say, hi.
Some people had the chance to be president once, and others, including myself, also served twice. Baumia didn't go anywhere to select his running mate, but the Ashanti region. And it is your son, Napo. The Asantehene urged Napo to preserve his characteristic modesty while collaborating closely with Dr. Baumia.
Midday makasa chen wo dem metunufo. Nanzo ma menka ncho. Emma Dr. Baumia nunu ho se wo yi wo. Emma nunu ho se wo yi wo. Wo kwaya no kwaya sumpa ne di na chi na de obekire wo na wo so ye.
Don't let Baumia regret his decision on selecting you as his running mate. Go and humble yourself to Baumia. The unveiling of Dr. Baumia's running mate took place at the Kumasi Jubilee Park, where thousands of party supporters gathered. According to Dr. Baumia, his decision to select Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh is to bring bold solutions to help the nation. As a banker and economist, I needed someone from the legislative side to complement the ticket. I share the same vision with Napo. He's a problem solver. Dr. Opoku Prempeh believes the NPP is the best party to help develop the country. For him, the legacies of President Akufo-Addo are unmatched since independence.
President Akufo-Addo retirement. Not even the Mr. Case was there. A freestyle Ghana from 1957. Ebekane, your president be our Ghana China and Ado Dankwa. Messi a freestyle 1957. Bekane, Mofamo Kwame Nkrumah, Mofamo.
Nobody comes close to President Akufo-Addo in terms of achievements, not even your Kwame Nkrumah. The NPP is beginning its constituency campaign with Dr. Bawumia touring the northern region. For Joy News, Nana Boache Dankwa Yadom, Kumasi.
Well, there have been reactions to that outdooring speech, and in the last few hours, leading members of the CPP, they've been challenging the claims of the NPP's vice presidential candidate as they caution the energy minister to be mindful of his new status in society. We can hear from Kwame Jantwa, his political affairs chairman of the Convention People's Party.
Nanado, has he been named the Millennium Gentleman of the Century? Nanado, does he have his statue at the OAU building? Nanado, does he have a mausoleum that shows who he really was and what he did for this country? Nanado, has he fought independence for Ghana before? Nanado, the factories that he said he's brought up, can any compare to Nkrumah's factories? You know, we had a nail factory, nails in Ghana, matches. Let's look at the factories that Nanado is said to have brought up. What are they? So how can you compare the two? How? From time immemorial, the loans that we took, does it amount to what Nanado has taken? You take from independence right up to this time. Does it amount to it? So what are we talking about? Why? Is it that they are scared of Akufo-Addo? Is that what it is? I expected with this his outdooring, he would come and he would tell Ghanaians how he sees the state of our economy, what he is prepared as a vice president to do to help his boss if they are ever voted into power.
Well, thankfully, we have the spokesperson for the NPP running mate joining us right here on the Midday News. But first, there's an opinion poll on X, a social media handle of Joy News, which sought to find out what the general public makes of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh's inaugural speech. And my colleague Blessed Sugan joins me in studio. What exactly was the question we put out there?
The question is, how would you rate Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh's speech at his inauguration in the Ashanti region yesterday? That was the question on X.
And what has been the response?
So far, 78.1% of the voter population, which now stands at 790 persons, believe that Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh's speech was poor or either very poor. You have 6.7% believing that it was an excellent speech. And then for those who are, intermediate about the comments, 4.1%. And we have some 11% also indicating that they have absolutely no opinion on his speech. But the polls are still open and will continue to update us listeners.
Okay, thank you very much, Blessed Soga. There were details of that poll on X as we speak. And like I said, Fifi Boafo, spokesperson for the NPP running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, joins us on the line. We are grateful and thank you so much for staying with us. I'm curious, though, to start with, what kind of feedback is the Opoku Prempeh team and the entire campaign getting following that outdooring speech yesterday? Hello, Mr. Boafo. It does appear that I've just lost Fifi Boafo there on the phone, but my colleagues are still working the lines to see if we can get Mr. Fifi Boafo back on the line with more on this in terms of the reactions coming in as a result of that outdooring speech yesterday by Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. We also heard the Asantehene Otumfo say to during the introduction of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh to him that he should not make Dr. Bawumia regret picking him as his running mate, and we've been hearing all the reactions that have been coming in also from the CPP, and thankfully Fifi Boafo joins us back on the line. We are grateful for your time, Mr. Boafo. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. So I was asking what kind of feedback the Opoku Prempeh team and the entire campaign team have been getting following that outdooring speech yesterday.
Well, we've had some section of the public who feel that what Dr. Prempeh said
is not what they were expecting, because they do not probably understand the point he was trying to make in reference to our former President Kwame Nkrumah. But this is to clarify that Dr. Prempeh did not intended or in any way sought to denigrate former President Kwame Nkrumah for what he has done for the country. He was only making the point that if you just suppose the impact in terms of development we've seen under President Akufo-Addo and what we witnessed under former President Nkrumah, he is of the considered view that President Akufo-Addo has done better. That is objective view. There are those who do not share that position. There are those who also support that position. But that is only his opinion. And in a democracy, other persons may have a different opinion to the position he has shared.
And the description of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in that speech, Mo Kwame Nkrumah, no, amongst others, at least, these are some of the concerns that people are raising. Reflecting on the comments that he made yesterday, his position remains unchanged? His opinion remains unchanged?
Well, he said he did not intend in any way denigrating, but you also realize that it was on a campaign platform, the kind of reaction that was going on. So, yes, what exactly he wanted to say was that if you consider how much value we put on the effort our former president did to improve our country, he's seen up there. So if there's any consideration in terms of the best, then it should be a consideration between the Akufo-Addo government performance and that of Nkrumah, except that it did not come out really well. But his intention was in no way to suggest that the former president does not deserve the credit he is given in our country.
But one wonders, that speech though, was it according to plan? Is that what the team planned for Mr. Opoku Prempeh to say at his outdooring speech?
Well, this was a political party platform. It wasn't a forum or a lecture of a sort. So this is a different environment altogether. If it was, for example, a forum or a lecture, then you will stick to scripted speech. But this was a political party platform. So certainly you will not have the exact thing in the book being presented.
One wonders though, really, it was his outdooring speech, maiden speech, and hearing what the Asantehene Otumfuo had told him and the caution that he gave him that he should not make Dr. Bawumia regret picking him as his running mate amongst others, and giving us the sense that Opoku Prempeh is not the arrogant and disrespectful person that we all say he is. And then hearing him, on that speech, does it not contradict what we heard from the Asantehene?
Emefa, what the Asantehene said was an advice to his grandson. The grandson considers that advice very important. And indeed, he shall go according to it. Yes, what was said, there have been concerns, and then people feel that, well, it shouldn't have come out the way it did. He admits that that is not the intention as it has come out. And then suddenly, he shall be guided and will not in any way disrespect anyone, because that is not his nature. You remember, on Otumfuo's statement, he said he trained him, he knows he's not an arrogant person, and he expects him not to go out there and do something that will give a different impression to the public. And I can assure you that Dr. Opoku Prempeh will be guided by the advice.
But he did just that. He just went contrary to the advice that was given him by his grandfather.
It was not contrary. And the point I'm making is that the message did not come out exactly how he wanted.
Okay.
And it is the intent. His intention was only to compare what President Akufo-Addo has done and what former President Nkrumah also did. It was not in any way to suggest that he does not appreciate or respect our former president.
Okay. We are grateful. We'll leave it here. And that's Fifi Boafo, spokesperson for the NPP running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. Let's head out of the election headquarters now. And the minority in parliament is this afternoon a collision course with government over plans to recruit 11,000 persons into the security services. The NDC MPs say the opposition to this drive is because of the opaque nature of the recruitment. They are demanding that government properly advertises the recruitment so all eligible Ghanaians apply. Deputy Minority Leader Emmanuel Alma Kofi says there will be massive protests if government does not reverse the course.
The current planned 11,000 recruits, we are asking the Minister of Interior to stop the current planned 11,000 recruitment, this opaque secret recruitment, so-called backlog recruitment, and open the process up and allow the people of Ghana to go through the normal processes. That's what we are calling for. The Minister of Interior, the minority leader dared him. We never got anything back. So please, we are very serious about what we are talking about. And we are not speaking for ourselves.
Well, let me take you live to Parliament, and Kweku Asante, Parliamentary Affairs correspondent, joins us on the line. Kweku, so the ranking member, James Agaga, also provides some more clarity on the matter. Tell us more.
Well, yes, he speaks about how an advertisement is such a crucial part of this process and why he believes that the New Patriotic Party, since it assumed reigns in 2017, has not been advertising recruitment into the security agencies as a decoy to recruit foot soldiers. He says that is a big threat to Ghana's national security.
Well, sometime back,
attempt to recruit from the so-called backlog is illegal, it's unconstitutional, it is discriminatory, and ought not to be pursued. Can you just imagine? You want to recruit NPP tax, NPP goons alone into our security services. What would become of those personnel? They would simply, constitute tax masquerading as security personnel.
Well, Kweku, this is not the first time we've had the minority make these allegations. The first time we asked for some evidence. This time, did they back it with any evidence?
Well, in the past few days, there have been publications in the newspapers. In particular, yesterday, a number of newspapers reported that government was set to embark on this recruitment exercise. And that is what they are basing these claims on. And they are saying that government's continuous claim that they are only clearing the backlog is not true, and that they want government to really put out the details of this recruitment, advertise it, and let Ghanaians who are qualified also put in the application.
Okay. Well, and I'm told that Parliament has been out of power. Is it Doom CSA? What exactly has been happening?
Well, it's been hours now since Parliament went off the grid. In fact, in the chamber, the Justice 100, a number of the officers did not have electricity. For a few hours now, the technical guys here in Parliament have been trying to work the generators so that the power can come on. And it's been fluctuating since it comes on, it goes off, it comes on, it goes off, and they're trying to fix it. This has meant that sitting has delayed. It's past 12 now. Parliament hasn't started sitting because they need to fix this power challenge before sitting can start. We understand that it is because of Doomsday, because the grid has been cut from Parliament. The supply is not coming, and that is why Parliament is working to put on their own generators to power the house.
That's Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante there. Now, it's day 3 of the Basic Education Certificate examinations, and the West African Examination Council's clampdown on more practices seems to yield positive results. So far, 16 teachers and invigilators have been arrested for various infractions and handed over to the police. We'll bring you details of that shortly. But first, yesterday, my colleague Rejoice Emefa went round some centres in Accra. Here's what she found.
I was scared at first, but now the scariness has reduced.
Why were you scared? Didn't you learn?
I learned.
But what happened? You were nervous, you were anxious?
Yes.
Really? It's gone now. Is it because the paper was easy?
It was somehow.
You should be expecting 8 A's for mommy.
Okay, yes.
Oh, very cheap, but difficult.
Why was it cheap but difficult? I don't understand. Explain.
I learned some of the questions which came and it came in the exam.
So the ones that came were cheap. The one that you didn't learn for were difficult. Is that it?
Yes, please.
Okay, so rate it for me. 70 over 100, 60 over 100. Tell me.
All I know is I'll get 60.
It was cheap, yeah. Especially the science and the English.
Are those your best subjects?
Yes.
So rate it for me.
The science 75, but the English 80.
That's Rejoice Emefa Besu's report there, interacting with some candidates after yesterday's paper. In the Ashanti region, teachers and parents have been barred from going close to the examination centres or entering the examination room. We can hear from the Ashanti regional head of WAEC, Divine Wolanyo Agbonyo.
This teacher had met the private schools and had charged them 6,000 cedis. And so immediately we asked for the removal of that teacher. He had another accomplice. She also was removed. There was an issue. You had the town folk coming, trooping in. That happened to be an open center. Open in the sense that it's no wall. So that center has been changed, has been moved. So they are moving to a place that is wall, more secure, so that the town folks will not have access to nothing will happen to the candidates who are writing the exam. So when they go, they should stay off the school campus. We have asked for police reinforcement. If they get arrested, they shouldn't blame anyone. They are intruded. They are not supposed to be at the center. If you are not part of the examination official, you are not expected to be at the center.
Well, there's an update on this clampdown by WAEC, and Joy News editor Fred Smith joins me in studio. Fred, what does it say?
Well, as at the end of day 2, which was yesterday, 14 people have been were arrested. Then 10 of them are invigilators, 4 are teachers who are assisting students, and the crimes they committed: assisting students, that's teachers, 7 of them; mobile phone possession, invigilators and teachers, that's 2; snapshots of questions, invigilators and teachers, 4 of them; and snapshots of questions, that's by an invigilator. And some of the instances here, Emefa, it says that at the Chemu Senior High School, Tema, a teacher, Amwaku Joseph, was arrested for taking pictures of the question papers and posting on a platform named Apawu for BC 2024. And in another school, some teachers were seen just outside the examination hall solving the questions so they can transmit it back to the examinations hall.
Thank you very much, Joy News editor Fred Smith, taking us on a quick break here on the Midday News, live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra and Kumasi, on Love 99.5 FM. We return from the break with sports, and Volta River Authority begins stakeholder consultations with local authority and leaders in preparedness for the spillage of the Akonsombo Dam.
We are getting ourselves ready, and we also hope that nothing really comes off to take our people away again.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a petrol source station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
This is what the Olympics is all about.
Get closer to split-second wins. Closer to history in the making. Closer to your champions.
The greatest athletic achievements of all time.
Get DSTV to get closer to the 2024 Paris Olympic Games from 26 July to 11 August, with 9 dedicated channels for the best coverage of every medal and every podium moment. On Supersport on DSTV, your home of entertainment.
The luckiest.
Star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere. For everyone, yeah.
Here's to the friends who dialed star 712 hash and found no regrets. To the investors who struck gold. To the health workers who diagnosed luck with precision. To the tough guy who couldn't hold back his tears. To the passionate fan who couldn't contain his joy. To the seamstress who turned her hard-earned stitches into a bundle of happiness. And now, here's to you. Your next big win is right here.
Luck is everywhere. For everyone, yeah. The lucky Dial star 712 hash. Now join in the luckiest winning celebration. Every 1st July 2024. Over dial star 712 hash. Now I can to take it through as a group, individual, and now even as a community. Now win is the car prizes are in the community draw or go for the grand draw on the 30th of November 2024. Unlock your luck with star 712 hash. Now join in the winning streak now. The luckiest
star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere for everyone. Yeah, the luckiest.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's do sports now. Mubarak.
Yes, Emefa. So the Black Princesses are in camp in Cape Coast preparing for the Under-20 World Cup. Now, Ghana qualified for the last 6 tournaments but never progressed beyond the group stages. In August this year, they will compete against Austria, New Zealand, and 2018 champions Japan to break the curse. Here is their head coach, Yusuf Bazigi, who is confident about Ghana's chances.
They are cooperating very well. We started and it was as if we're not going to get there because they were finding it very difficult. But now, as I'm speaking, I can say that they are improving very fast. Training after training, they are doing well. So the will to do is there. And I can feel it that we are on course. I know Ghanaians are expecting that we should go beyond the group stage. That is a paramount expectation. And we also have it in the mind. The expectations from Ghanaians is exactly what we are also expecting to go beyond the group stage.
Yes, Emefa. So tonight we've got commentary for you, England versus the Netherlands. Is it coming home or they are going home?
Bye-bye. It's time for fact-checking, and today we are focusing on claims by national organizer of the governing New Patriotic Party, Henry Nana Boakye, and aide to former President Mahama, Felix Kwatiofosu. Well, head of our research desk, Raymond Akwa, joins me in studio with more on the claims and the verdict. First, what exactly is a bone of contention and what did they say?
The contention is over which period in Ghana's history did the nation record negative growth in agriculture.
It was President Mahama who even gave us 2% economic growth. If at the time, agric even grew negative.
So that's Henry Nana Boakye, the NPP's national organizer. We can also hear the response from the NDC's Felix Kwatiofosu.
And for the record, agric never grew negative under the NDC. It is a lie. It was under President Kufuor in 2007 that agric grew by negative 1.7.
And the verdict?
Now, Henry Nana Boakye's claim that the country recorded GDP growth rate of about 2% under John Dramani Mahama is mostly true. At least the growth rate for 2.9% in 2014 and 2015 also had 2.1%. Now, by his claim that growth rate in the agri sector was negative under John Mahama is completely false. Growth in the sector was 6% in 2013, 0.9% in 2014. 2015 had 2.1%, and in 2016 it was 2.9%. That's agric's growth under John Dramani Mahama. Now, Felix Kwatiofosu's claim that it was rather under President John Ajekum Kufuor in 2007 that the country recorded negative 1.7% growth rate is true.
Okay, that's the verdict on fact-checking with Raymond Akwa. Now, the Volta River Authority, we know, is engaging local authorities, opinion leaders, the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, and various groups in communities usually affected by the spillage of the Akonsombo Dam annually on safety measures ahead of a controlled spillage. We know what happened the last time the dam was spilled. Several communities in multiple regions were submerged with houses and properties destroyed. Speaking at the press launch of the Tom Chiefs Union in Juapong, MP for the area, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, demanded measures are put in place to avoid a disaster. Well, that issue came up when the Minister of State designate Herbert Krapper was answering questions on the situation before the Appointments Committee. Here accepts.
VRA envisages that if and when the spilling starts, it'll start very, very early enough that it'll cover such a long period of time that the volumes that will be spilled on a daily basis will be small. Smaller quantities will be spilled over a longer period of time in the hope that we will not see the displacements that we saw last year when we spilled. So that's the plan. VRA is going ahead with the stakeholder consultations and the sensitizations, and the ministry and central government will work closely with them to ensure that the program that they have put in place to mitigate the impact of the spill and also ensure the integrity of the dam will be executed according to plan.
That's Herbert Scrapper there before the Appointments Committee on the spillage. M and J, the J without the M is
yes,
here. What are people
Emefa
talking about on social media?
Well, Emefa, the late former president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, is trending alongside Napo. You know, that was after the comment he made yesterday on the president who has done better in previous years and saying that not even our former president, Dr. Nkrumah. So people have been sharing their opinions, bringing back some of the past achievements that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah did in the last 6 years, in his 6 years tenure. And someone says that public praise for Napo must be matched with private counsel. Criticizing Nana Akufo-Addo in public isn't expected, especially when he was there to endorse him. But dragging Nkrumah into this was unnecessary. So people are like very emotional about this statement on social media. And also today is Sarkodie's birthday, so he's also trending on social media.
And it's a feature, yeah?
Yes, you know that, right?
Let's head out with that. Jackie, thank you. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. How to Grow Your Faith, episode 5 is up next on Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabil. I am Emefa Apawu.